Test, 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 test. Averey,
Sounds good. Talufan?
kumalka.
Yeah. Little
Can you hear?
distorted. Little
Okay, can you?
distorted. Little
Okay,
bit
nega.
distorted.
How's it? Test, test, test. Now, kumalika.
But we can still hear you though.
Okay, all right. Okay, let me do the volume. Okay,
Crystal clear, Vice Chair.
okay. Let me take your volume. It's on high.
I
We
think it's
can
Okay.
good.
hear.
Live streaming.
Yeah, I think it's good.
We
Okay,
can hear.
está.
It's good, right?
All right.
Everybody can hear?
Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
está.
Okay, Joey, just let me know.
We're live streaming.
Are we good? All right, I see Commissioner Camacho. Welcome. All right. So Joey, good to go?
You hear me?
Barely.
I can't hear him.
Can you hear me? Hello?
There, I can hear you, Joey.
We're live streaming.
Okay, we're good to go. Okay.
You wanna, we'll do quorum, attendance, roll call?
I think we'll do the justification first and then the roll call, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Buenas, everybody. It's Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. It's 2:35 p.m. This meeting is called to order. In compliance with 5 GCA Chapter 8, Section 8107, public notices for the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission regular meeting schedule for Wednesday, August 20, 2025 were published in the Guam Daily Post on Wednesday, August 13, and Monday, August 18, 2025, and posted in the Government of Guam Public Notice Portal and the GALC website. Roll call.
Gina?
Sure. Chairman Aclavia,
Present.
Vice Chairman Laguarnia,
Estiga.
Secretary Treasurer Orlino, I thought I saw her.
Yeah.
Commissioner Camacho,
Here.
Commissioner Cruz, Commissioner Westning. I see Commissioner Westling's on. Okay, there she is.
Sorry, here.
Thank you. I did see Commissioner or I'm sorry, Secretary Treasurer Lino, but I see she's logged on, but she hasn't responded. If
I see that
she's-
she's here though, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
I also
do-
see Commissioner
Cruz.
Commissioner Cruz is on also.
Commissioner Cruz,
She's raising her hand because she's on
Okay.
mute.
oh, okay.
Okay.
You do have a quorum, sir.
Okay, so just Masi Tina.
Walang pabetsu.
Okay, before we move on to the next item, I know that we're pressed for time. I believe our vice chair would need to leave by about 3:15
Or sooner.
or sooner, so maybe we can get
Okay.
to maybe after item 3, if we could get to that quickly, and then somebody make a motion to move up the the voting aspect of our agenda.
Yeah, I
Make a
guess that's the, yes, sir. That's the most important one. Mr. Chair.
Okay, so let's hit down item 3, which is the minutes. April 25th, 2025 meeting.
Mr. Chair, we have Commissioner Cruz,
Okay,
that right, her hand raised.
okay.
I did
Commissioner
have
Cruz?
a chance to review the minutes, and I'll make a motion to approve the April 23 regular board meeting.
And I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Okay, it's seconded.
Twenty
Discussion?
twenty. Can we just make a correction on the date to April 25?
Oh, that's not the correct date?
Not 23,
Oh, okay. She said 23, right? It's supposed to be April 25.
correct.
Okay,
Mr. Cruz?
okay. Correction then.
Okay, so it's April 25th, the meeting of April 25th, 2025. It's motioned by Commissioner Cruz and seconded by our Vice Chair, Aguanya.
Yes, sir.
Okay, discussion?
Mr.
Okay.
Chair, can we just say, subject to any technical corrections on the motion?
I think she did. Did you say subject to the technical corrections? I think she did.
I did say if corrections to
Okay,
on the date,
okay.
and you mentioned the correction too.
Okay, very good. Any further discussion?
No discussion, Mr. Chairman.
None? Okay, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
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 Any nays? No nays? Motion passes.
Okay, Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I would like to move move up the matter on new business with the confirmation of the executive director, if you don't mind. I think that's a very important matter that we should address immediately so that we can continue in the execution of our goals and objectives in a formal manner. I mean, is that
Okay.
okay?
any objections? No objections? Okay, let's move.
Okay,
So moved.
sir. I would move also. Yes, based on that, Mr. Chairman, if I can continue,
Okay,
I would like to motion to nominate and approve the executive director's recommended position based on the front office, Governor Lulian Guerrero's letter of recommendation to the board. I'd like to move on that.
okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so I believe I heard Commissioner Cruz. Okay, Commissioner Cruz, it's seconded by Commissioner Cruz. Discussion?
No discussion, Mr. Chairman.
No discussion? No objections?
No objections.
Let's vote.
Let's
All in
vote.
favor? Aye.
Congratulations.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? No nays. Motion passes. Congratulations.
All right.
Ms. Blas,
Okay.
you are our new Director of Guam Ancestral Lands Commission.
Yes, congratulations, Kathy. Ms.
Thank
Blas.
you. Tizus Masi.
Yeah.
Okay, let's now continue with the regular
Bring it.
order of our agenda. We'll go down to item number 4, Acting Director's Report. Actually, you're not acting no more. You're the director.
Yeah, that's
and you
right.
are on. You're on mute, but no, I think you're on, right? It's just showing that
Yes,
it's
sir. Tizus
Okay.
Masi, once again. I'd like to start off by saying that our FY 26 budget has been submitted to the Office of Finance and Budget on July 14, 2025. Based on what we had worked on. Unfortunately, I believe they put us back down to they have ancestral lands and status quo. So we're still at $444,396. That is our budget. That has been submitted by OFB to the legislature. And then moving along, the land applications for lot 1049, lot 2240, and lot 2241, municipality of Barrigada, the estate of Gabriela C. Titanfong, have been submitted and verified and are ready to proceed. We would like to schedule the land title hearing for September 24th, 2025 at 2 p.m. I also included in my report the account balances. Our quarterly, it was supposed to have been done last month. Unfortunately, we didn't have a meeting. So our account balances, I included the account balances of all of our accounts. I also wanted to remind the board that we are getting charged for 2 dormant fees. One at Coast 360 for the Landowners Recovery Fund, and the other one at the Bank of Hawaii, that trust savings. And as of June 30th, our account balance altogether cumulative 19,753,381.93. Thank you for the opportunity to present the updates. You're on mute, sir.
Mr. Chair,
Okay, got it. Sujus Masi, Director, any questions?
I have a question.
Okay, Vice Chair?
Didn't we address that matter with our accounts with Coast 360 with such high investments that we have within their institution, that were we waived on certain of those dormant fees? Didn't we discuss that?
I believe under the new management, sir, but it didn't include our Landowners Recovery Fund.
So, Mr. Chair, maybe we should address that matter with the Landowner Recovery Fund. How much do we have in that?
We only
Account?
have $5,014.38.
Okay. But with that, inclusive of that, Mr. Chairman, I think with all the other accounts, I think it's only right that they include that as well. We have time certificates there of how many accounts? 3 or 4, I believe.
Yes, sir. Our total amount that we have invested at Coast 360 is $4,154,041.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I request that we address that matter by submitting a letter on that matter. Is that okay?
Okay, and discussion? Regarding our Vice Chair's request? So Vice Chair, you're saying with the 4 million, can you clarify again? What was that?
Yeah, but I remember back when that, with such an investment with that institution, that $4 million is a lot of money invested in them. And I believe, inclusive of the 3 accounts, they waived us with those dormant fees. And as of if I'm correct, Ms. Blas, that we are relieved of those 3 accounts, and if so, I would like them to include that other account, the latter account, to be inclusive of that waive of dormant fee as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I agree. If no objections, let's move with that, Director.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Vice Chair.
Yeah, but with the Bank of Hawaii one, that is a different matter. That was that one again. That one we have litigation problems with that matter, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Refresh our memory on that one, Ms. Blas.
Yes, sir. That is the Joey, if I'm not mistaken, that's the Taurus case. So there's actually nothing that we can do. We cannot,
Right.
it's just dormant until the litigation is complete. Correct, Joey?
That's for the is it wait, the Bank of Hawaii account? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying
Yes,
attention.
Bank of Hawaii.
Okay, so that's for the money sitting that the money is from the Hawaiian Rock properties that I believe the Ramon Santos Borja estate is going through probate. And so
Yeah,
they're
so
just waiting on
that's
that.
definitely not that's not the Taurus
Yeah.
case for sure.
Yeah, so we were supposed to we talked with one of the attorneys, and one of the attorneys agreed to hold it in trust for them, but I think somebody objected, and so now we're back to square one again. We're still holding on to this until we can until we're ordered by the court to, or instructed by the courts who it's distributed to.
Okay. Well, that clears that.
Yeah, what is the amount on that again, Ms. Blas?
$64,352.01.
And the dormancy is on an annual basis or a,
It's, yes, $5.
oh, okay. But still does accumulate it, for it's been years that we had that matter of being being abstracted. Okay.
Okay, with the other investments director, the one with Raymond James and what is it? I guess Bank
BGIS,
of Guam. Bank of Guam, right?
yes, sir.
Yeah, what's the status? I know it's just it's dormant right now, or is it? I know it's not in any investments right now.
The 3 million that we gave to each of them are in investments.
Oh, so we did tackle that.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I see. Can you remind me what meeting session was that?
It was under the term of Mr. Birch. And we gave BGIS and Raymond James each 3 million after we gave them the first 4 million. And they were to invest the 3 million, moderate or low.
Are you sure? Because I thought that it matured and then they needed us to.
That was
So when
that
we finally got our quorum back, we ended up reinvesting it. I forgot.
we have to,
Yes.
Yes, we did. Oh,
yes,
okay.
sir. Yes, sir. And then
Okay.
the 4 million.
Okay, so we're good to go. So is any further questions for the director's report? Okay, no further questions.
I just want to comment.
Okay, Vice Chair.
I just want to accept the new director's report and then congratulate her formally, officially. And that's the kind of information that we need to sustain with you, Kathy. I want to congratulate you again. Keep up the good work, and that's it. Congratulations again.
Thank
you,
you
Mr.
very
Chair.
much. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, so down to item, where are we at? Item, are we on, item 5? Item 5, Gita progress report.
Yeah, buenas and good afternoon, Mr. Chairman,
Buenas, Tony.
Vice Chair. Gita misses all of you guys. It's been a few months.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Um,
Tony, can you speak a little louder?
Can you guys hear me now? We're good?
Okay.
Yeah, buenas and good afternoon again, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chair, GALC staff and management and commissioners. My name's Tony Ariola. I'm here with also our Gita Real Property Division management and staff team. And I also would like to introduce you our newest member on board, one of our program coordinators, Miss Francine Sablon. Francine Bumba, I'm sorry. I apologize. Correction in that. Francine Bumba, also known as Sissy. I'm here today to make a progress report on GIDA's efforts to manage land bank trust properties as required by Section 1 of the MOU between GIDA and the GALC Land Bank Trusts. First on the list is Waringel Junction Northern Market with their monthly rent of $27,854.51. Their balance as of August 2025 is $2,441,285. Their last payment was received on February 8th, 23. The latest update is Northern Market has made a payment of $140,000 to Guam Waterworks for the system development charge required for the final clearance of DPW. Northern Market has also indicated that DPW assigned permit number 25000-465 and is in the final process of making a final payment of $22,000 to secure the issuance of a construction building permit. We also have our Northern Market rep later, that has confirmed attendance for this meeting to answer any questions that the GLC board may have on any update of their development plans. Apra Harbor Parcel 1, the next one on the list is Quick Space. Their monthly rent of $4,069.31 with zero outstanding balance, and their last payment received on August 14, 2025. Next one on the list is Matson with their monthly rent of $27,733, outstanding balance of $27,733, a correction in their outstanding balance. They possibly should be making payment by the end of this month. They normally make payment by around August, the end of the month. They're also no longer seeking sublease to Black Construction. They're also working on developing fencing and paving in the remaining 15 acres of their leased property. Next on the list, and I'm sorry, with Matson, they're collaborating with Smith Bridge to develop the following. They're consolidating trash piles onto the unusable 3-acre Smith Bridge property. They're sorting the remaining trash into metals, tires, and solid waste. Their trash will be measured in cubic yards to determine the potential cost of the disposal. The above work mentioned will also be documented in writing and photos, and they'll be shared with GIDA and GALC. There's also ongoing trash debris consolidation on the unusable 3-acre Smith Bridge property. Next one on the list is Transsteel with their monthly rent of $500. Their arrears payment has been paid in full on July 7, 2025. Their notice of termination of the license agreement was sent to them on June 20, 2025. They're also verbally requested if there is any possibility that their license agreement can be reinstated. The next one on the list is the AT&T company with their monthly rent of $22,939.42, zero outstanding balance. Their last payment received on August 4th, 2025. They're also in a month-to-month tenancy. At the last meeting, GIDA requested to issue the RFP appraisal. However, we are pending GALC board approval, hopefully by today. With Smith Bridge, their monthly rent of $8,800, outstanding balance of zero. Last payment made via ACH on August 4, 2025. They're also no longer seeking sublease to Black Construction. Just to let the commission know that they're interested in the former half-acre Transsteel lot. They're interested in requesting to add on to their current sublease property. And their intention is, if the bid goes out, they intend to bid if a RFP goes out. They also have development plans for that property. They also have development plans dependent on securing a 15 or 30-year lease and a contingency plan if they only have the remainder of the lease until the year 2027. They request to amend their current lease agreement for the following. They want to reduce the unusable 5 acres to 3 acres and start paying the additional amount of 2 acres of the unusable property. They want to increase the notice of intent to terminate lease from 1 to 3 or 6 months. That this will allow additional breakdown for their equipment and operations if the lease terminates. They also have development plans, and if they're able to secure a longer term lease. Their development plans is to build metal and concrete warehouses on the property. They also, on the disposal of the trash, they want it to be amortized farther out over time, a longer time period. Gita will meet again with Smithbridge to develop the disposal options with costs, and later to also discuss with the GALC director and the chairman. Next one on the list is Farmers Co-op. Their CY 2024 annual lease payment is due for the amount of $7,124.76. That number is based off 2% of their gross income, and the gross income for that year is $356,188, with their financial statement that was submitted on May 22nd, 2025. We are pending their payment, and we also made a follow-up on June 25th, July 15th, and August 5th, 2025. Their rep Sharon responded that payment will be made soon, but there was no date provided. Moving on down to the Teason lease properties, the Guam Environmental Protection Agency building. Their monthly rent of $8,000 with an outstanding balance of $8,000. Their last direct deposit payment was received on August 6, 2025. Now with the Department of Public Health Teason WIC building, their monthly rent of $8,400, their outstanding balance of $21,000. They made a lump sum payment of $16,800 that was received on July 17, and a payment of $8,400 received on August 5th. They're about 2.5 months behind, and I guess the reason being is because they are federally subsidized at 50% of the rental amount. But they would make lump sum payments and their lease payments most of the time. The other items on the list is Public Law number 38-1. That's the extension of the Government of Guam leases from former 5 to now 15 years. And this new law increases the allowable period for commercial contracts, leases, permits, and licenses for the use of public real property and related facilities by non-governmental entities from 5 to 15 years. This concludes my report. Should there be any questions from the commissioner or anybody else, please feel free to ask. Thank you for providing me this opportunity to give this report today.
Introduce Masi, Tony, and Gita. Do we have any follow-up questions?
This is Albert Smith. I've got some questions in relation to our property when it's appropriate.
Let's see. Okay, board members, any follow-up questions for Gita? So Tony, the last part on the 15 years, that extends it from the board can go up to 15 years without doing a determination of need. That's what that new law states.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. It just requires a GALC board commission approval.
Okay, very good. Any other questions, board members? Is our vice chair still in? Vice chair?
Still here?
Do you have any questions for Gita?
Stand by. Yeah, I'm just visibly, I'm not visible right now because but I'm listening. Yeah, because I'm having my late lunch. I have to leave at 3:15. But anyhow, yeah, I notice we do have Miss Calvo on with us. And is there? I might have missed the progress report on the Northern Marketing. Are we? What's the update on that? Tony?
Gita, you want to just go ahead and go back on that real quick?
Yeah, what I wanted to report on is Northern Market has made a payment of 140,000 for the system development charge that is required for the final clearance of the construction building permit. They also was assigned a permit number 250000465, and they're in the process of making that final payment to secure the issuance of the building permit of $22,000. So that's the latest update that we have.
But that payment is not directed to us. That's just for them to continue and proceed with their development. Am I correct?
Yes, to obtain the building construction permit so they can start building. That's correct, Mr. Vice.
And any progress on payment for ancestral lands as per the agreement?
Yeah, for the second lease agreement, they're in a deferral plan until the construction period, 3 years after the construction period is completed. That is per section 5 of the Second Amendment to the lease agreement. Or I'm sorry, yeah, section 5, yes, I stand corrected in that. Yeah, section 5. On the construction commencement date as per the Second Amendment to the lease agreement.
Well, we have it's actually also on old business on B. We can continue that on B.
Okay. All right.
Okay, that's but yeah, we'll continue. It's just about to come up because I believe on A we're gonna defer that, or we have to table that.
Mr. Chairman, can you still hear me online? I'm removing my headset.
Yes, I can hear you. We can hear
Okay.
you.
All right. Thank you.
Can hear you good.
All right.
Very good. Any further questions for Gita? Okay,
Yes, Chairman, this is Commissioner Westling. I just have one question for Tony. Yeah. Hi, Tony. Thank you for your report. Could you just please repeat the Matson monthly lease you mentioned? There's supposed to be a correction or something in outstanding balance.
Right, their last payment was received July 29, so their outstanding balance should be, instead of 0 that is stipulated on the report, it should be 27,733. However, we're gonna be they're very good at making payments. They probably will be making payments around August 29. Around
Okay, so
the last week of August. But they're
okay.
good at making payments, yeah.
Okay, so just to refresh my memory here. So the payment received on the 29th of July was actually for July's payment?
No, Yes, they're like a 1 month behind. Normally, what is it? Today's date is what I'm basically saying, Commissioner Westling, is today's August 20. So more than likely the payment will be coming in around they usually pay at the end of the month, like somewhere around
Oh.
August 29. Yeah, they're
Okay,
very
so,
with it.
okay, so their schedule is they pay the rent at the end of the month for
That's
that
correct.
particular
Yeah.
month.
Yeah,
I
the
see.
payment,
And
yeah.
not the first of the month.
Yes, towards maybe the end of the month.
Oh, okay, okay. So this July 29th payment received was for the month of July.
Correct.
Okay, has it always been that way? I just can't remember that that their payments are due at the end of the month.
Yes, they've been consistently paying,
Okay.
yeah. Towards the end of
Okay.
the month, yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you for refreshing my memory. Thank you.
We never had any problems with them.
Yes,
they're-
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Yes, they have been
Ma'am,
a good and
thank you for the
consistent
question.
tenant.
Okay, any further questions for Gita? Okay, no further questions. Let's move down to old business, item 6, old business. So Director A, AT&T appraisal. I guess we're gonna table that.
No, actually, sir, we're gonna need the board to agree to have Gita proceed with the RFP for the AT&T. The one we were gonna table is B of new business.
Oh, okay.
The half
Exactly, okay.
acre.
Okay,
The half
very good.
acre is being tabled and
Oh,
the
I see,
AT&T
okay.
appraisal needs approval.
Okay. So what do you need from us? We're on old business A, AT&T appraisal. Oh yeah, that's the RFP appraisal.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We're good. We were good with it. Did everybody get a chance to review, or anybody have any questions with Gita regarding that RFP for that appraisal?
Yeah, we need to move on that, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, let's move.
Okay, we just need an approval from the board so that Gita can proceed. Our attorney has reviewed and approved all the necessary changes that were made. We actually, yeah, so
Let's
it's
get a
just
motion.
waiting for
Let's get a
approval.
motion on the floor. Let's get a motion.
Yes, sir.
Move,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, to move on the RFP on the AT&T matter.
Okay, motion to approve the RFP for Gita for the appraisal for AT&T. You guys hear a second?
I second that motion.
Okay,
This
second
is
by Commissioner
Commissioner
Westling. Discussion?
The only discussion I have to say on that, Mr. Chair, is the
Okay.
legislature has been pushing us for that matter. So we should proceed ASAP.
Okay, no discussions. Okay, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
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 Any nays? No nays. Director, motion passes.
Jesus Masi.
Okay, now we move down to the Northern Market status update. I think that's all cleared up, or do we need to have, I see we have Ms. Calvo. Do you want to make any additions to or make any testimony?
I guess I can just add to the report from Gita. First of all, good afternoon, everyone, and also
Good afternoon.
congratulations and welcome to the new executive director. I'll just give a little bit of background and just kind of confirm Tony's report. As he mentioned, we did sign the amendment in February, which required us to get the building permit for the project. We did make the payment of $140,000 to GWA, which was required in order to proceed to DPW, which would then issue the permit. We had gotten the clearances for the project previously. However, DPW did issue a new building permit number, just basically more of a clerical issue as opposed to a substantive one. Just a building number with this, with the year 2025. So thereafter, we went and got renewed clearances from the agencies. Well, first we got updated drawings stamped by our engineers, and then we went and got the agency clearances. We have one more pending, which we expect to receive in the next week or so. And after that, we make a payment of 100, or in addition to the 140,000, we make a payment of about 22,000 to get the building permit issued.
Okay, very good. So I guess we're still on track. Gita,
Yes,
we're
we are on track.
Okay, any further questions on the Northern Market agreements? Okay, very good. No further questions. Thank you, Ms. Calvo, for appearing for the board today.
Thank you very much, and we'll keep Gita updated as well on the progress once we get that
Okay,
permit issued.
and good luck on further success.
Yes, we're moving forward, so we're looking forward to that.
Okay, be safe.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen, for your attendance.
Okay, now we're down
Thank you.
to new business, item 7. Confirmation, we achieved that already. A, moved on to B, appraisal for the 1/2 acre portion of lot Upper Harbor Reservation F-12-R2, also known as Polaris Point N14-1, municipality of PD. That's the one we are going to table.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. So, anyway, we have public comments now coming up.
Yes, sir. And we have Mr. Albert Smith, who would like to address the board.
Okay, very good. Welcome, Mr. Smith. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Welcome.
First of all, I'd just like to explain our situation with this lot we're speaking of, which is the ex-Transsteel lot. We are developing a concrete batching plant and an aggregate storage building for which we are 90% of the way through the building permit process on the land that is included in our lease. Our construction does not include any of the land, obviously, that's not in our lease. It's in the Transsteel area. It would be very convenient for us if we were able to take up a license agreement on a month-by-month basis. It's my understanding that you'll get it valued and you'll put it to the market and we will bid, and we're fine with that process. But if you'd like to receive rental for it in the interim, we're happy to take over the same license agreement that Transsteel had from the day that they vacated it. That is, it would be backdated, I think, until the 1st of June was your termination date. And at any time, the kind of usage that we would do is only parking equipment on it. So you could give us a month's notice at any time if for some reason, after you've done the valuation and the bid process, that we weren't successful and you let it to somebody else, and we can live with that. We can just move with less than 1 month's notice because it's only mobile equipment that we'd be parking on that land.
And that's all you were doing is just using it as a parking spot.
It's correct. So we've got a development for a concrete batching plant, but that's on the land that we have the 5-year lease over. So we've specifically designed it so that we're not using that land because we obviously don't have tenure over that land, but we're very happy to take it on a month-by-month basis so that if you do lease it to somebody else, we'll just drive off it, but it would be convenient for us, particularly during the period of the construction of our batch plant, to have use of that land. Our batch plant construction is going to commence within a month and it's going to be completed by the end of November.
I see. You do understand the board did have some find some issues and discrepancies of what currently occurred there between you and Transsteel. So I think we could still move on with an understanding. I don't. Despite that, I think that needs to be resolved. But I have no issues if you want to use it temporarily for parking until we do put out an RFP. I believe we do have the authority to do that. But I'm going to yield to our legal counsel on this, and let's just see what our legal counsel says.
It was my understanding that provided you don't take away your ability to offer it to the market, which you wouldn't, that it would make sense for the GALC to take the rental income. in
Board
that
member?
in that you can give us a month's notice at any time you like.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members. If it is the commission's wishes to move forward with a month-to-month arrangement where sort of either party can terminate on 30 days notice, I think pending with the understanding that everybody understands that the commission intends to put that out for a lease tender, and that nobody's making any promises to one another as to what might happen as a consequence of the lease tender, that I have no legal concerns about putting together a month-to-month deal at whatever economics Gita can put together.
Oh, very good. I feel the same way. Although I'd like to make it clear to Mr. Smith that
Okay,
we
I'm
do
just
have some
testing that.
pending
Can you
issues.
hear me?
I'm sorry, somebody's speaking? And we do have, although Transsteel's request, which I don't think is going to happen, but he did make a request to continue on his license. We already gave him we terminated his license. Sorry, okay, Mr. Smith?
Transsteel tenant is currently storing his material within the Smithbridge lease on
We
a
understand that.
short-term arrangement. And so I believe that he's probably happier to stick with that arrangement than to take the other site back. Well, that was my discussions with him. My observation, the rental rate that we pay for our 5-year lease is slightly more than the rental rate that Transsteel were paying, because theirs was quite old. We're very happy if you just charge us the same rate that you charge us for the rest of our area. But obviously on the basis that this little piece of it, you can give us 1 month's notice.
So you're in agreement of basing it off what? Basing it off your current lease.
Our current lease rate is slightly higher than the Transsteel rate. We're happy with our lease rate. Just keeps it simple. I think our lease is at $1,100 per acre per month, and I think his lease was at $1,000 per acre per month. We don't expect any discount from our current rate. We're happy to pay $1,100 per acre per month.
Board members?
Our lease is $1,100 per acre per month, I think, but you just need to check to make sure. But whatever the rate is, we are happy with the rate in our lease, even though this is only a month-by-month tenancy, not a 5-year tenancy.
Board members?
One more point.
Okay.
The other thing, we're also happy, so that the GLC doesn't lose any revenue, we're happy to pay. It's my understanding that their lease was terminated effective from either the end of May or the end of June, but whatever date it was terminated for, you can go down and have a look. And whilst there's nothing parked on it, we've been driving over it and effectively been using it since that day. We don't expect it for free. We're very happy to backdate that month-by-month license agreement so that it starts from the same day that his one ended.
Which is what date?
I can't remember whether it was the 1st of June or the 1st of May, to be honest. I think it might have been the 30th of May. I'll have a look.
He's correct, up to the 30th of May.
Diego, can you remember what it was? I'm pretty sure it was the 30th of May. So we're very happy for you to charge us from the 1st of June.
Yes, sir. May 30th.
Okay.
And
board members, any questions with that?
Just one question from me, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner
This is
Camacho?
Commissioner Camacho, yeah. So this month to month is basically same terms and conditions as other licenses, is that correct?
Correct.
So to include any in protecting us from any environmental occurrences that may happen while they're using the property, is that correct?
Apparently, they're going to just use it for parking.
But still, parking vehicles and vehicles have fluids and things, toxins and things. So I'm just asking if that covers us of any environmental possible, I don't know.
Mr. Smith?
It would be my suggestion that you write up a license agreement, which will be very similar to the Transsteel license agreement, but you cross-reference the environmental protection and usage conditions that are already in our lease. Because then you don't even have to write it down. It's all very clear in our lease that it's our responsibility. So you've got a very well-written lease agreement that was a 5-year lease that's got those points well covered. I agree that you need to write in protection for yourself, but I think the best way for you to write that protection in is to just cross-reference the other lease document, because it's got quite a bit of wording in it that covers the point that you're making.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
I have no other questions.
Well, Mr. Smith, notwithstanding that we do have some pending issues, definitely with what occurred in the last several months, I don't see any issues with your requests. Does any other? Okay. Commissioner Wesley.
Thank you, Chairman Akavea. I was going to just echo the same concerns that Commissioner Camacho just spoke of, but I still, but I believe that this is something, this proposal by Smithbridge for a month-to-month tenancy on that lot is something that we should consider, subject to our legal counsel drafting the proposed month-to-month lease with all the caveats that we would want included in there for, for protection of the Guam Ancestral Lands Commission.
Very good. Agree. Any further questions?
No questions. Just think that it is something that we
Okay.
should.
Okay, Mr. Smith.
Got a further request in regard to your future valuation and leasing of the site. The Smithbridge lease is for 5 years. We've got a contract that we're going to build a concrete batching plant to do the work for the port, and we may or may not be granted an extension to our lease. If we're not granted an extension to our lease, we'll relocate the batching plant at the end of the time to another site. Then it would be in our interests if the half an acre, if we could do a swap of the area. It's my view that the area will generate more rental and be of more benefit to you if you put it at the end of our site. If it was possible and allowable legally for you to swap a half an acre, that is, we give you back a half an acre on the corner of our site instead of in the middle of our site, and you add into our lease, so make an amendment to our lease to swap the area, that would still allow you to lease out and to bid the half acre, but put it over by the Matson end of the site, and it would allow us to square our site off and make it more sensible for us for a long-term lease. So I'd like to put a formal request to the board that, subject to it being allowable from a legal perspective, that we swap areas. That is, take 2,000 square metres out of the end of our lease and add that piece into it.
Well, you're gonna need to put that in writing, and so we can see it. We can really take a look at it and see with. You can bring it up with Gita, and they'll present it to the board. In the meantime, let's see what we can do with what your request right now. So I guess that's going to be with the legal counsel.
Mr. Chairman, my suggestion would be that if Smithbridge and Gita can, to sort of work out all of the business terms of this small transaction, and then, once the business deal is made, I can just, work off an email and put something together. But I prefer it if your business people had a handshake agreement on exactly what the business terms were, and then I'll just write that up.
Very good. It will be based on basically what, Mr. Smith, what you brought up with, and backdating it back to what, May 30th?
May 1st. No, June 1st.
I'm sorry?
June
June
1st.
first.
June 1st. Okay.
It would be my suggestion that the way that we would document that is we would write up what we call a terms sheet. The term sheet would include all of the commercial terms. The term sheet would be subject to getting a license document written, and the term sheet would be a briefing for Lee to make into the license document. We're very happy to write to you with a draft terms sheet. Then us and Gita can agree on the terms, and then those terms can go to the board and to the lawyers to get changed into a license agreement.
Okay, very good. So I guess, Diego and Gita, you guys will be working, with Smithbridge, get that done, and then bring it to our legal counsel, and then we can go from there. Very good.
Yes, sir. Yes, we can get that done pretty quick.
Okay. Mr. Smith?
While on the job, it would be my suggestion that we do an amendment to the 5-year Smithbridge lease to increase that rented area. What we did was we consolidated all of the rubbish at our own cost onto the smaller area. And so at the moment, we've got rental relief from the start of our lease and still current over 5 acres that was unusable. We've now reduced the 5 acres unusable back to 3 acres unusable. And those 3 acres got a big pile of rubbish on it. And then we've agreed to add the rubbish from the Matson site onto that 3 acres, so there's no lost area in theirs. It would be my suggestion that you prepare a lease amendment, and we sent you a draft lease amendment to increase the rentable area up so that there's only 3 acres excluded for the rubbish. And I'm also happy for that to be backdated to the 1st of May, because that was the day when we notified, I think about the 25th of April, I notified that we were prepared to do that. I understand these things take a little bit of time, but there will be no problem if you make the lease amendment apply from the 1st of May. We've got very good photographic records. We take regular drone photographs of the site, so it's very easy for people to see at what point in time we achieve that milestone. So we don't want to be clever about it and use the land for free. We spent the money to clear it, and we've had usage of that land from the 1st of June. That land that we cleared, some of it we collect a fee from Transsteel, so Transsteel are paying us instead of paying you. And so it's only fair that we effectively pay for the area that we're using.
Well, very good. Well, get with Gita with all the stipulations that you just mentioned, and you are going to backdate that also back to the 30th. I mean, the 1st of June.
It's my suggestion.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm not going to argue with that.
Hey, and look, that we've been very cautious to make sure, so everybody knows where it's going, that we've got a regular sequence of aerial photographs taken of the site, so you can see exactly when it's done. We have no intention of trying to be clever. That was at the date at which time we had it to the point where we could make use of it.
I see.
But it's our desire to be a long-term tenant, not a short-term tenant.
Yeah, and what we do have a disagreement on the interpretation of our agreement regarding rental of the land. So that thing needs to be resolved. But I can see you're making strides here. So
if you've got a disagreement, feel free to tell us what it is. We're happy to rectify anything that we may be seen to have done wrong. We've been trying hard to do the right thing. We've spent a lot of money cleaning that site up. Under our lease, we have every entitlement to ask you to pay for it, but we felt that it was reasonable that the amount of work that we've achieved to date, we've already committed to you that we don't expect any reimbursement for it.
I see. Board members, any questions?
No, he's got his hand up.
I can't see. Oh, okay, Joey.
I just want to make sure I'm hearing correctly. There is trash on Matson that they want to consolidate with the trash that was supposedly on the current Smith Bridge property. Am I correct?
Correct.
The situation is that the pile of trash went over the boundary into the site that is the Matson site. When they started developing, they came to us to identify it. We identified, and it was very clear that it was there before the start of our lease. We agreed to allow Matson to transfer the trash onto our site because we've already got a trash pile on our site just across their boundary. It's my understanding that they've almost finished relocation of the Matson trash onto the Smithbridge site.
So you're doing this without board approval. You're already making these decisions, and now you're asking for permission? Is that what I'm hearing? You already done the work.
We had a meeting with GIDA and with Matson and with Black that were involved, and it was my understanding that it was approved. And so I didn't do the work. The work was done by Matson, and Matson understood that it was approved to do it. The approval that I gave was to allow them to put the rubbish onto the site that I lease.
I know, and so you're putting trash on from Matson, which they never informed us, and then you're gonna put it on.
That's not correct. Diogo was involved in the discussions. We had meetings. We made a proposal in writing. It was a collectively agreed solution between Matson and Black and Smithbridge. Then we sought approval from GIDA to do it. And then GIDA approved doing it. And then after they approved it, we did what they approved. If it's a problem and you want us to throw the rubbish back across the border, we'll be more than happy to put the rubbish back on the Matson site.
Wait, can I interject to provide some clarity here? Okay, so yes, so because there was no there hadn't been ancestral meetings for several months. Both Matson and Smithbridge, brought this issue to our attention, and by our I mean GIDA's attention. So, Mr. Chair, if you'll recall, I communicated this to you, to say that these two adjacent tenants have an issue. However, they have come up with a solution that is amicable to both of them. And so, with the chairman's nod, or with his, to make sure that that Ancestral was aware, I kept chairman included in the proposal. And so with that, and no anticipated ancestral meeting, since that time. So in order to keep things moving forward and no violations of anybody's lease, because this is a mutually agreed upon action between the two adjacent tenants, with Ancestral Lands Chair awareness, then we moved forward. The tenants moved forward, and there was no objection. So it wasn't like a proposal for approval. It was more of a, the two neighbors getting together and say, hey, there's this issue here with the trash on my side, the trash on your side. Can we just put it on the other side? So what we did was we made sure to have an agreement between the two, and that have an understanding between the two that every action is going to be, what do you call that? Documented with both written and photos.
There's 2 points here of significance.
Yes, I concur. I actually acknowledge Diego's comments there, but go ahead, Mr. Smith.
1 point of significance here is that it would have been reasonable for the Matson tenant to ask the landlord to contribute to the cost of relocating or cleaning their rubbish. But as good tenants, Matson and Smithbridge have covered the cost at no charge. The second thing that's significant is that this rubbish at some point in time needs to be cleaned up. You might recall that Smithbridge offered formally to bury the rubbish, but we couldn't get an EPA approval to do it because that would have been lower cost. We're now going to have to make a proposal to either relocate it or to treat it. So the agreed way forward is that we've taken a photographic record of what was done. Then we're going to survey it so we can quantify it. Then at our cost, we're going to do some trials with sorting it to see if we can minimise the volume by separating the scrap steel and the rubbish and the soil. Then we're going to bring you a proposal to deal with the problem. And so it's well thought through, it's been well documented. The next step of the process is to accurately survey it. We've already got a survey of the volume of the pile of rubbish before the mats and rubbish was added to it. So I think that the situation is quite well under control. Be assured we're not going to do anything with the rubbish without your approval.
Mr. Chair, are we gonna, so I'm not sure if I'm hearing correctly, are we going to pay for the removal of the trash, or am I hearing that Smithbridge is going to cover that expense?
Mr. Smith, I think you're clarifying that that's the agreement between you and Matson, correct?
The agreement between us and Matson was that Matson would put the GALC trash onto the stockpile on the Smithbridge land at no charge to Smithbridge and at no charge to GALC. Then the existing lease between Smithbridge and the GALC, which was entered into some years ago, very clearly says that Smithbridge will do the cleanup, and as they do the cleanup, they'll bring to you a proposal for the cost, and the GALC was prepared to contribute a proportion, an undefined proportion of the rent towards the cost of the cleanup. We've never asked for any money for the cleanup work that we've done to date because we've relocated all of the rubbish. Then what I've said we're going to do is we're going to prepare a budget for it. We provided you with a budget to truck the rubbish to the rubbish dump, and that cost was of the order of $1 million, was far more than the rent. So it was agreed that the rubbish would be left stockpiled in the consolidated location. That is, we reduced the area down and put it in one pile. It can sit in that pile forever, or it can be processed. We will give you a proposal to process it, and the processing, it's our expectation that the GALC will cover the cost of that processing. So the work that's been done to date, we've committed in print that there's no charge for the work that's been done to date, although our lease said that we were every bit entitled to charge. Then we've said that we will give you a commercial proposal to deal with the remaining rubbish, and if it never gets dealt with and it sits there forever after, that's a GALC decision.
So let me
is that clear to everybody?
So just to, for my understanding, Matson already reported to GALC at the beginning of their lease any waste on their property, and those were already addressed. So this sounds like this is new trash, which Mr. Smith is calling GALC trash on Matson property. So
that's not true, Joey. Have a look on our lease. There's a drawing on our lease that shows the location. Then you can go and have a look at the site. There's plenty of photographs taken at the site. The rubbish that was on the Matson land was on the Matson land well before the commencement of the Smithbridge lease. And
well, that's Matson's problem, not our problem. You're transferring Matson's issue to us.
Problem. Well, that's the issue between yourselves and Matson. And the worst case scenario here, it's not a large volume. If there's some dispute about the volume of trash that was on Matson's land, that's Matson's responsibility. We've measured the quantity. So we took a survey of the stockpile before we put the Matson rubbish on top of the Smithbridge rubbish. And so if there's an issue with the cost of processing the rubbish that came from the Matson site, don't worry, we have a great relationship with Matson. They're sensible people. We'll be able to resolve it. I don't know whether that rubbish is a GALC cost or a Matson cost, but somehow or another we'll be responsible tenants and we'll deal with it in a sensible and a timely manner as best we can.
Gita, can you comment real quickly on our terms with Matson regarding that?
Well, this issue is more on the with it would be a question on the Smith Bridge lease. As you'll recall, the Smith Bridge lease does allow for rent consideration in order to address the trash problem. So what Smith Bridge has right now is still in question. And the reason why I say that is because Smith Bridge does intend to seek approval for a longer term lease, based on the new law that allows for 15 years with the approval of the commission. So with that, if you have a longer term lease, then the offsets could be amortized over a longer period of time as opposed to a shorter period of time. Right now, their current 5-year lease ends in 2027. If they are able to get an additional 15 years, then this arrangement, it seems like it would be doable as far as addressing the trash as well as still generating cash revenue to the commission. So while these things are still dependent on time and dependent on volume, it's still something that's I believe that Gita believes it's worth exploring. So what Gita was thinking of doing is sitting down with Smith Bridge and looking over, costs, on a 5-year term versus a 10, 15, 20-year term, whatever term they can get to address this. Because, I remember the commission, years ago, that the most important thing was to, number one, generate revenue as well as address this, long time trash problem. So in the end, what I'm saying is that, we can, let Gita sit down with Smith Bridge to work out the, some kind of schedule and, cost estimate so that we can finally move past this issue.
And get it cleaned up. Mr.
Yes.
Smith?
I can summarize it for you very easily. We did a cost estimate and we presented it to Gita, and it was in the range of $1 to $1.4 million to take all of the trash to the dump. That was the cost of loading it, transporting it, and paying the dump fees. We pay about $140,000 a year in rent, and the rent is being paid monthly to the GALC. If we took a 15-year lease at a similar rental, the total revenue over 15 years at 140 grand a month is about $2 and a bit million. If the GALC were prepared to commit to put 50% of that rent aside, then that would cover the cost of the worst case scenario, because the worst case scenario is to load all that stuff up and take it to the dump. What we've suggested that we're going to do is we've got a magnet and we've got a screening machine down there, and we're going to try and separate the rubbish from the soil and the steel to reduce the volume, to reduce the $1 million. So at the moment, we're in a position where the worst case scenario is about $1 million, which is about 50% of the rent for the next 15 years to clean it up. And so if we can come up with a plan, then we'll have to get the EPA to approve the plan. If we start separating it and reducing the cost, then we'll have to get you to approve the plan. If the plan is technically approved, then we'll look at the price. But we know that if we want to put it all on a truck and cart it to the dump, then we know it's about 50% of the rent over 15 years.
I see. So I see. So would that be also implemented into the if we do a future we do extend the lease to 15 years, we would have that incorporated into the lease regarding that shifting plan you had?
If I was the GALC, I would make it a condition of the 15-year lease that we hand it back to you cleaned up, and I would give us authority to spend up to 50% of the rent doing it, and then I would force us to prove to you what we did, because if we can reduce the cost, then you want to get the saving. So if there's a saving by taking the metal out and taking the soil out and only taking the rubbish to the dump, because that's a lower cost than carting it all to the dump, the GALC are motivated to enjoy the minimum possible cost. So we'll be totally transparent with you. The next step of the process is to do a trial. Then we'll give you a quotation. When we give you a quotation, it was an original condition of our lease that we can't charge you at more than the rent that we pay you, because it was an original condition of your bid that the cleanup was to be funded from the rent cash flow. But at the time we did the bid, we didn't know how much rubbish was there. It was covered in bush, you couldn't see. That was why we had to clear it to be able to quantify the problem.
I see. Could I get Commissioner Camacho and Commissioner Westling's input on the rest of the board? Commissioner Westling, you had your hand up.
Yeah, thank you. And my question is for Joey. And I can't help but wonder, Joey, did you pose the question because perhaps Matson had some responsibilities that they agreed to as far as cleanup when they entered into the lease to absorb cleanup costs, and that was there concern that by transferring the trash that was on the Matson property to the Smithbridge property now would increase the total overall cost of cleanup of the Smithbridge property, which inevitably may come back to being charged, the total cost being charged to abatement of rent due to the Guam ancestral lands. Is that why you posed the question? Because I truth be told, I can't recall, because I think the Matson lease was done before my term here. Was there a provision in the Matson lease that they be responsible for all costs and cleanup for any trash and debris left that was on their property?
Yeah, so that is my concern. Because
Okay.
they did when Matson initially started the lease, they found hazardous materials there. So that was cleaned up by the Navy. And then looking at aerial photos, I do not see any other trash on the property. Going forward to the present, you can see that trash has been put on to the Matson property.
Right, there wasn't any
And so,
sound, but I just stayed.
Go ahead, Joey.
And so, this property is the only source for the agency's budget. So if we're going to be paying $1 million, then, it's going to hurt our, our funding source. And, again, when we did our own site visit, you can see that it was not just clearing that was done. They also graded the property. So there's a mixture of soil, there's a mixture of green waste, and to my understanding, the trash was already separated. And what Smithbridge did is they consolidated everything only to come back and say, you know what, we need to separate the trash.
I don't agree with that. The scrap steel that we collected from around the site is in one stockpile. The tyres that we collected from all over the site is in another stockpile. The mixed trash is in a stockpile. Your allegation that we mixed it up is unreasonable and is unfair.
You just said they already stockpiled. You just said it right now, and now you just told us you need to separate it.
There's one pile of mixed trash. The mixed trash includes some tyres, some metal, and some dirt. Please feel free to come and look. Then there's another stockpile of tyres. Then there's now a stockpile of scrap, because wherever it was sensible to separate the scrap, we've got the scrap in one pile. So we've got the stuff that's already separated, that scrap steel is in one pile. There's tyres in one pile, and there's a load of mixed trash in the other pile that was already mixed. The pile that has got the already mixed trash didn't get moved. We added to the top of it with mixed trash, but we didn't actually move the pile. It's exactly where it was when we went there.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind.
Okay, Commissioner Camacho?
Are there any photos of the condition of the Matson trash before it was removed? Did anybody take any photos of what Mr. Smith is referring to? On the
I'm not
Matson
sure.
side, on the
I'm not
Matson.
sure. Gita should have some information on that. Gita?
We don't
So,
have any.
There's a drawing in our lease that marks it, and there's photographs that we've taken since we've been on the site. We've been taking photographs about every 2 months of the site. So it would appear to me that the issue at hand here that Joey has correctly identified is there a condition in the Matson lease that the rubbish that was on the Matson site is their problem, or is it a GALC problem? It'll be very easy to check that. It'll be well documented. It's my understanding that Dan Swaberly was involved in setting that lease up in the first place, and he was our consultant to set our lease up. So I think the people that are in Matson that were there at the time are not there, but they'll have good documents. So it'll be very easy between all of us to find in the documents what the deal was to sort out who's liable for cleaning up that bit of rubbish. And the good news is that I said to you there's about $1 million total stuff. The Matson stuff is probably of the order of 10% of the total. So it's not like it's a deal that's going to be everybody's going to want to go to war each other over it, because in relative terms it's not as significant.
Okay, one of this
Okay.
could, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead, finish up, Commissioner Wesley?
Okay,
well,
thank you. I'll make this quick. Okay, so I thank you everyone for all their input here, and I think it would be prudent to re-examine the Matson lease to just refresh ourselves on what the original terms and conditions were. And Mr. Smith has, just given an estimate as to what he believes the value or the cost of the Matson trash would be in the whole picture, and then we can go on later on and reevaluate at that time once we have all the facts together. And if there are pictures available, then we can examine those as well.
Okay, Mr. Smith?
Not an estimate. I would suggest it's a guess or a rough order of magnitude guess. That
Okay.
we haven't done
got
an
it.
estimate yet, but be assured that there is a survey of prior to adding the Matson trash and post the Matson trash. I don't know if the post adding the Matson trash survey has been done yet, but we've got both quantities, so there'll be no problem about identifying the quantities.
Okay, I'd just like to add something real quick. I mean, regarding what Joey was bringing up, there was a question regarding the fact that he was noting that some of the trash was sorted and then it got pushed up to a certain amount and then it was all mixed up again.
There was no sound, so, since the onset of the meeting, there's no
Yeah,
sound.
and then there's a question of the amount of trucks and that 1.2, what is it, 1.2 million or 1.5? There was a question of doubt regarding it was actually that much. That's one of the two objections we had regarding it, or questions regarding it. But I don't want to extend the meeting too long, but if you do have something else to say, Mr. Smith, go ahead. Yeah, you had your hands up.
Justification for that estimate is included in our earlier correspondence that we've sent to you when we were suggesting what it could be done. We're very happy for people to review the estimate that we came up with. So we just got an order of magnitude estimate of it once we first identified the quantity before we consolidated it, so that we had an idea what it was about. And so if there's anybody has got a better estimate or can get a better quote, it wasn't a quote, it was enough to make a decision to not try and process it immediately. And so I would suggest that if there's some doubt about whether we've mixed trash or we've done the wrong thing or something like that, go and get someone to go down there and write a report on what we've done so everybody understands. There's no secret about what we did. There's no shame about what we did. get some consultants or get down there yourselves. And if Joey's not happy with what we did, then we'll fix it. Or if it's not satisfactory for you, the end of the lease will end in 2027 and that'll be fine.
Understood. Okay, well, at least we're airing out the discrepancies that we have, including what happened with Transsteel. That was left a sour taste in the mouth of a lot of our board members. But let's move on. Let's go ahead and you work with Gita and get that information and that proposal that you have, and including with the lot, and then he'll get with our legal counsel and draft something up, and let's see what we can do with it. We'll examine it again. Is that good?
It's no problem. And then look, there's no problem if for some reason we're not the kind of tenant that you're looking for. You just tell us and we'll be willing to depart. We've got a 5-year lease, and if we need to move our plant at the end of the 5 years, and if you don't want to give us the other piece, or if you're not happy with what we've done with the contribution so far, there'll be no upset if for some reason you want to do something else with the site. It's your site.
Understood. We have the ability now to extend it 15 more years.
Correct. And we're more than happy to, but if there's some reason in the interests of the GALC not to, don't feel that you're going to have any argument with us. We understand the deal.
Understood. Understood. Well, thank you for appearing today and giving your presentation or your testimony.
Okay.
Any further questions? Anybody? Okay, very good. Gita, thank you. I think we're at the end of our further public comments.
Mr.
Smith,
we
go
can
ahead.
we can leave the meeting now. You don't need any more from Smithbridge, I understand.
Yeah, we're good.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
See ya.
You,
Goodbye.
take care. Sorry, Tony, you had something to say?
Just thanking Mr. Smith for his
okay.
attendance.
Okay, let's move down now. We're done with public comments. Any more public comments?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a comment.
Sure, okay.
We've had a full board for a few months now. And to say that we didn't have a meeting, well, we were never asked for a meeting. So these agreements made without the board, I think, is something that I don't take lightly, because nobody has called for a meeting until today. And we can do special meetings within a quick amount of time. And I think we've always accommodated the agency. So to say that, oh, we haven't had a meeting, I take offense to that. And it's not our fault that we haven't had a meeting. It hasn't been called.
Director, I think you wanna comment on that? Because there was there's issues why we couldn't have those meetings.
Yes, sir. What happened was during the work session, the board asked Gita to ask Matson what their intent was with the sublease to Black Construction, and they were supposed to come back. In our last meeting, we were waiting for Matson to come back to us with what their intent was for Black Construction to lease the property. And they never responded. And then there was nothing for Smithbridge, and the only thing that we had pending was the AT&T. Nobody contacted our office saying that there was things that needed to get done. We didn't hear anything. I was communicating with Diego, and we were communicating with Matson to find out if they had anything for us, but they didn't.
But it was just said that Gita met with Smithbridge and Matson and whomever, and because there was no board meeting, they contacted the chairman and an agreement was made. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because nobody called a meeting. And It's not difficult. If there needs to be a special meeting for matters of this sort, I think that it should be done.
Yeah, but that's it looks like that's what happened, but that's not really what happened. We were not able to have meetings for a long time, and then
That's what I heard.
I asked Gita for an update, and they were telling me about that issue with the trash on the left with Matson and Smith Bridge, and I asked Gita to make sure that whatever's going on between the two, Smith Bridge would be, but they're supposed to get back to me first. Maybe they took it upon them, just like what they did with Transtil.
To my
They-
point,
they-
Mr.
they moved.
Chairman, to my point, Mr. Chairman, how these conversations are happening shouldn't be happening at that level. They should be happening at this level in board meetings. So,
Well, just remember, there wasn't really any confirmation on anything. I was just getting an update on what was happening with basically it was with Matson on what we already agreed upon with Black Construction, that they would be, that they accepted.
that's
You
not what
know,
I heard. That's not what I heard Gita say. That's not what I
No,
heard. Gita
that's what I was referring to and referring to. And then they were just giving me a couple of quick updates with what they're with Matson and Smithbridge trying to consolidate the trash. I said we already have an issue with them because we're upset because they just shoved all the trash up into one big pile and they were all sorted out before. And that's why Joey was very, very upset, and rightly to be upset. And then that thing came up with the trash on the on Matson's side with them. So right now we do have some big issues with Smithbridge.
and
we
Gita
made it clear.
and Gita, because
I'm
what
sorry.
I heard, because what I
Mr. Chairman?
Yes. We can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear?
Hi, the office just lost internet connection. I'm talking to you from the I'm talking to you from the Surface Pro on the Wi-Fi.
Okay, right now it says recording has stopped.
Yes.
Okay, I think, what do we do from now? What's the proper procedure here?
We would have to adjourn the meeting, sir, because we cannot record now.
Okay.
Kathy,
Adjourn or
I'm following up on our face-to-face meetings as well.
Yes, ma'am.
And the only reason I'm upset about it is because this has only been a discussion for like maybe 2 years. So pardon me for being upset about it.
Yeah, I believe that was covered before with what was our issue with CLTC using their board. But I think right now they're set up. We can have our next board meeting live, face to face. And she was going to bring that up.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up after we adjourned. May everybody please give me a moment?
You can leave and rejoin.
Mr. Chairman, while Kathy's sorting things out, let me just give you
I don't know
two
what.
options for the moment.
Okay.
If we can get the recording back and continue, that's great. One option is to recess this meeting. And so we can pick this meeting up with this particular agenda in the next several days. If, on the other hand, if you and the members think we've done as much work as we're going to do on this particular agenda, then let's go ahead and adjourn and pick up the business of the commission in a brand new agenda.
I think we could adjourn and easily bring the issues back up. Commissioner Camacho, you do have very, very, very valid issues you brought up. We need to address it. So you don't need to be asked for pardon. You're justified in those questions. Commissioner Cruz? Real quick, and then Commissioner Westling?
Commissioner
You're on
Cruz,
mute. Commissioner Cruz, you're on mute.
I think we should recess this meeting and so because if we do recess it, we don't need another petition. So we can reconvene in a few days.
I think we should adjourn it and
But if
just
we're done
bring it up
discussing,
and discuss it again. Bring it up as a discussion with the last topics. I think we should just adjourn it.
Mhm. Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Chairman, one way or another, we need to make it, we either need to decide we're gonna get the recording back up, or we need to
I think we should adjourn right now.
close.
Yeah,
Everybody agree?
I agree, sir, because we're still not up.
Commissioner Camacho?
I think we should adjourn.
Okay. Commissioner Westling, you had something else to say?
The meeting's still live streaming.
Okay, we
Okay, Commissioner Camacho?
adjourn the meeting as
Oh,
we
Mr. Wayne.
discussed so that we
Okay.
can, we can pick up again. Because I had some comments to make,
Okay.
along with
Okay, we'll just
Commissioner
bring it
Clark.
back up. All the concerns we'll bring up and discuss it and we'll correct it.
Yes.
Again, everybody, thank you, Gita, legal counsel, GALC staff, and congratulations to our new director, Kathy. Congratulations. Motion to adjourn. Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Everybody, see you later.
Or 12. Real
Be
quick,
well.
Commissioner, please don't leave, stay on. We wanted to show you our progress in the office.
Okay.
Are we off, Joey?
Not yet.
Okay,
Let me stop the live stream.
thank you.